Hey, what's up and how's it going, all MRBers? I'm Mike McRock and I'm your co-host for the Make Rock and Bolt Wrestling Review Show. And right now I am going to give you my review as well as the results of last night's episode of NXT. And also I will give you my predictions for NXT Arrival that happens next week. So here we go. So on this episode of NXT, the show kicked off with the Ascension taking on the Jobbers, those guys. Their names were Marianne and Labaska, and they just pretty much ran right through them in just a few minutes. A very, very short match once again, showcasing the Ascension being that dominant tag team that I do enjoy. Of what NXT is doing with these guys, not these guys, the Jobbers, but Connor O'Brien and Rick Victor, the Ascension, is showcasing them as that dominant team. However, the issue I have is that the tag team division on NXT, like I said before, desperately needs to be rejuvenated once again and bring in new teams. And what I also like, though, now throughout that match, the first match between these two tag teams, is that for some reason the NXT crowd is starting to really get behind the Ascension with the yeah chants and the let's go Connor and we want Connor chants. Now, wouldn't it make sense now to turn them into a babyface team? Same goes with Cesaro getting the reaction that he's getting on Raw and SmackDown. Wouldn't it make sense for him to be a babyface for that reason? So I think that NXT needs to do something now with the Ascension going forward in their career by the time they get up to the WWE. I don't know if they're going to do anything, if they're going to go forth with this new reaction change with the Ascension, but we'll see what happens. Also, we saw a Divas match. It was Summer Rae facing Emma. Summer Rae had the BFFs in her corner, Sasha Banks and Charlotte, and Emma came out with Bayley. And I like when Bayley came out, she had a couple of signs, and one of them had Summer Yellow, Summer Green, Summer Teeth written on it. And when Summer Rae saw the sign in the ring, she looked at it and had that expression on her face and slammed it down. Those things I like from a heel diva on NXT, and I thought that throughout that entire match, it was actually a fairly longer match than the first match, and I love how Summer Rae worked that match as the heel, as that diva that you just don't want to see go over on Emma. And what happened was that at the end of it, we saw the miscue with the BFFs, and also, before then, Sasha Banks slapping Emma, and you figure that the referee would have saw that and called off the disqualification victory for Emma. I found that really strange, I think. But with that out of the way, I thought this was actually a not bad, decent Divas match. It was better than last week's because it was forgettable. This was more like a better momentum for Emma, and again I go to Paige retaining her championship, and I'll do my predictions after this review. And I think that to me, because Emma is receiving all this momentum, it's telling me that the opposite is going to happen. Moving on, we get an exclusive interview with Sami Zayn and Antonio Cesaro, with Renee Young building up their one-on-one match next week on NXT Arrival. And what I liked about this interview is that it was really escalated quickly. It was rushed because we didn't need to have that long talking segment like we did last week. So you have to mix it up every now and then and have just a few short minutes of talking to mix it up. And I like it. I like the direction that the segment went. How Antonio Cesaro kept interrupting Sami Zayn when Renee Young asked a question to Sami Zayn, and Cesaro would answer. And he would answer before Sami Zayn would, and then at the end, Sami Zayn interrupted Cesaro, and so I like how that escalated. You got to see, that build up, that tension between the two of them. They talked about their rich history and that 2 out of 3 falls match, as well as that injured knee from Sami Zayn. And I think if they don't play on that in the match next week, there's something wrong. And I think that, to me, that's most likely to happen, that Cesaro will work on that injured knee of Sami Zayn throughout the entire match. And I think that next week, those two will just tear the house down. Moving on, we get to see the main event. Now, before we get to the main event, I want to talk about that 30-second promo from Tyler Breeze before he wrestled in this match. I liked it, actually. I like how he's so soft-spoken and he has that girly voice. Even though it was for 30 seconds only, he's actually a really good speaker, and I like to see more of that. And I like how he was stumbling with the word face on purpose, because he didn't want to see Adrian Neville as the face of NXT. To me, that signalizes that there's a possibility open for next week if Tyler Breeze comes out and interferes and costs Adrian Neville the NXT Championship. There's a possibility that could happen. I don't know if they'll go that route, but I think at the end of the night next week, I think we should see a new champion. Now, we get to the match, Adrian Neville versus Tyler Breeze. I think those two work well together. To me, Tyler Breeze is a really good seller, selling bumps, and the execution of some of his wrestling ability. And I like how Adrian Neville switched up his arsenal a little bit, how he executed that powerbomb on Tyler Breeze. I thought that was a little interesting for a high flyer to do power moves. And I like how Tyler Breeze worked that match as well. Like I said, he's a great seller. To me, he's a little bit of a Dolph Ziggler, a Chris Jericho with a bit of Fandango, and an Edge, all wrapped into one mesh of a superstar. And I think that Tyler Breeze has a really good future in the WWE. And basically what this was Adrian Neville going over Tyler Breeze in this match. And after that, we had Bo Dallas come out before Adrian Neville got to speak, and those two were talking. Now, while those two were talking, the audience just had their own little fun. The CM Punk chants, the Daniel Bryan chants, the soft, and a little bit of a boring chants. And to me, that totally ruined my excitement going into the ladder match between Bo Dallas and Adrian Neville. They just completely ruined it for me. Daniel Bryan chants is one thing. The soft, the boring, I get it. Bo Dallas is a boring talker. I can understand that. But to me, NXT wants to establish this build-up between these two guys for the NXT Championship, and the audience has their fun on the final segment of the show. Ridiculous. Why are you chanting for CM Punk when he's not in the ring and he left the company? Why? You have Adrian Neville who's trying to speak, trying to get his point across, and you're chanting for CM Punk. Why? Oh, it just baffles my mind that some people just don't understand that CM Punk quit. He's not coming back. I'm done. I'm just done with this whole CM Punk thing. You need to open your eyes. You have guys in the ring trying to promote a match, and you're chanting for a guy who's not there. I'm about to flip my lid now on a lot of you fans, a lot of you people that are just soaked up into your own reality that you don't get what CM Punk did. He walked out on you! I'm sorry. That just had to be said. Now, I thought overall NXT last night was a really good show. Even though the audience ruined the entire last segment, I thought, that everything leading up to next week's big 2-hour event is going to be really good, I think. I expect a great match with Cesaro and Sami Zayn, as well as the ladder match itself. And the NXT Women's Championship match to me just feels like a filler match. There's hardly any build-up between Paige and Emma, and I can understand that. Paige has some personal issues that she had to deal with because she's hasn't been on for quite some time. So to me, it would make sense for Paige to win this match because we see Emma now on SmackDown and Raw developing herself that the WWE is not doing properly. We get the Sami Zayn and Antonio Cesaro match. I think to me, if Sami Zayn loses this match, he can't go nowhere. And he said it himself. So for that reason, I think Sami Zayn will go over Cesaro. And I think, like I said before, these two will tear the house down. And when it comes to the ladder match, I think, to me, Adrian Neville needs to win this match. Because Bo Dallas has been champion too long, and NXT needs a new champion. If you're looking forward to next week's show, what are your predictions for those 3 matches? Comment below and let me know. And while you're at it, you can hit that subscribe button down below on this video. You can also follow MRB Wrestling on Twitter and like Mick Rock and Bolt Wrestling Reviews on Facebook. And on a final note, get plenty of rest and always do your best.